And we are live. Mr. Ova the Technician, the special guest on the SMT Podcast. I need a huge favor from all my mods. Do me a solid. Get Ova's link to his channel. Let's get that in the live chat first. Ova, welcome to the show. You've been on a couple of times. It's not your first
Absolutely.
rodeo. So
Absolutely.
welcome to the show, man. Glad that you're on. And it was kind of spur of the moment. I sent Ova a DM. I was like, yo, man, let's do a live stream tonight. He's like, cool, let's do it.
It don't take that much, man. It do not take that much from me, man. You hit me up 25 minutes, we good to go, baby.
The only thing I was concerned about was if you were doing a show.
No,
That's,
no, no.
like sometimes I know you do live streams, so I wanted to make sure
Yeah,
it was
if
good.
if I was doing something, I would have just simply said, nah, I got a show to do. But if my answer is nah, my answer is okay, then we're good to go, man.
That's right. Good man. Barry,
Shout
welcome
out
to
to
the
the
show.
chat.
Yep. Big shout out to the live chat. Appreciate all the hashtag Mod Squad members out there. Barry, Baby Yoda, Chain, appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through tonight. Brian is here. We got Joeseph. Zero Cool is in the house. That's a special appearance. He's a hard fellow to catch, so we're glad to see you, man.
Okay, Linux in the
Steven
building.
is
Shout out to Linux.
Steven, Jarcohen. Good to have you guys as well. Ashay is here. Adam is in the house. Appreciate you. The homie Lawrence is here. We got PA.
We got Chanel. What's going on, Chanel? I haven't seen you in a minute, Chanel. What's going
Been a
on?
minute. He laid low for a while, man. We're just getting him
I haven't
back,
seen him
bro.
on Twitter. I know he hasn't posted anything about Pokemon cards or nothing else.
I know he was laying low for a while. We're glad to have him back.
Yeah.
Josh, good to see you. We got David. Thanks for coming through.
Hey,
Appreciate
David,
you.
what's going on? Ape
The
Nation.
homie. That's right. Big Dave, man. Ryan is here. Technoid is in the house.
Oh, Technoid, Miss Doctor Who himself, man.
He's got the best intros. He's got a cool show, man. I like what he does.
Definitely, definitely shout out to Technoid, the homie too, man. Technoid, another one.
Big term. We got Zeke. We got Gerald. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through. Medardo's in the house. We got Craig. Top flight security of the world, Craig.
Oh, top flight. Wait, top flight.
You remember the donut shop? You remember that back in the day? That there was that next Friday or Friday after, whichever
it was
one.
Friday after next. It was like the next to the last one when it was in the mall.
Yeah. Dodo and Doodoo and them.
Yeah.
Yep. And Pinky.
Yeah.
Good to see you, man. Lavendi is in the house. What's happening, bud? We got Curtis. We got Robert. And I think we're caught up. We're good in the live chat.
Absolutely.
All right, Ova. So I could throw any topic at you.
Absolutely.
You hit curveballs, softballs, the knuckleball. It's coming your way. You're slamming them out the park.
Batting 500 on the live stream game. You know how it is.
At least 500.
At least
I'd say
500.
1,000. Right. We're getting on base, bro.
Absolutely, right. Man. You getting on base with me, man. Don't matter, man.
All right. So my channel is mostly cellular. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Smartphones too. We talk about home internet providers, ISPs, business ethics sometimes crosses over a little bit. We talk about business. There's a lot of different things. But let's get started because maybe the people want to know who Ova is. You know a little bit about cellular. I mean, you keep up with the channel content. You watch the videos. Yes. I see you comment. You're a supporter on the Patreon page. Big shout out to the patrons.
Get on the Patreon. Definitely get on the Patreon. Support Sneed.
All right. Thank you. And Ova, let's start first. Who are your home internet and then mobile providers?
Home internet is Optimum. Max data plan, 400 megabits download, 36 upload, right as rain.
I got to ask you about that.
Yeah.
They just cut the upload, I heard. Did that happen to you? That's what I heard.
Well,
We're gonna see if we can get Ova back. Looks like maybe we lost him for a minute. We got him back.
Yo, I don't know what just happened. My internet just cut off.
All right, well, it's back. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, so I lost you right at when I asked you about Optimum cutting the upload speeds. And I wanted to know if they did that to you.
Well, no, I was going to do a speed test, and then all of a sudden, all of my internet just shut off. It just disconnected.
It's like they knew that.
Yeah.
We were
So
talking about it.
yeah. So you can put that in the after show notes when I do that after the stream. I'm not gonna even try to do that again because that was weird.
Messed up, man. They really cut your
it
uplink, huh?
literally just everything. I'm like, what?
Okay, so I was asking about, like, I had heard, I follow the ISPs that they were cutting uplink, and did we lose him again? You still there, Ova?
Okay, we may be having some technical difficulties tonight because my internet's randomly disconnecting now, but we can continue.
Ova, if you want to take a moment to reset your gear, I mean, it's okay. The people can wait. We'll wait.
No, I don't know. This hasn't happened in this. I don't know why this is I don't know why this is happening. We can just continue because I don't know why. I don't know. I have no idea why the internet is just disconnected.
I think I know. We're gonna have to stop talking about Altice. Moving on.
Moving on. Moving on. Just moving on.
Tell me about your wireless provider, man.
Verizon. So we switched to Verizon last year.
Mm-hmm.
And been fine ever since. Ultra wideband, 5G. We've been good ever since on Verizon.
How much do you rely on your wireless provider for your connectivity?
I'm not really that mobile, so I'm not gonna pick that up again. I'm not really that mobile, but when I'm outside, it's helpful. But most of the time, I'm home, so I'm using my Wi-Fi. So I actually turn my data off when I'm home. So my data is off when I'm home. When I'm outside, I'm using the 5G. The 5G gets it done when I'm watching. I usually play a lot of YouTube videos for the music, and then there's some Spotify, then there's some Google Maps and things like that. Everything gets the job done. However, I have been noticing in certain areas where I've been going in, my data connection has been dropping as of lately.
Dropping?
It's been like I've been in certain parts of deep in Brooklyn and Queens. I've been getting 2 bars of 5G, 2 to 3 bars of 5G, and that's outside with no outside of buildings and stuff like that. Sometimes in buildings, it drops all the way to LTE plus.
And is it okay at LTE plus or whatever?
Still good at LTE plus. Still good at LTE plus. Can download, upload perfectly fine. Yep, absolutely.
Okay. We're gonna kind of take this the super chat here. This one from Tony Phone E Balone E. Is 800 download good for CBRS or should I expect better? I'd say that's above what I see. Usually on the unloaded sites, when they first installed them here in the CLE, I was getting like 600-700. Now with all the traffic that are on them, it's down to like 300, 400, 500. So it's carrying a lot of traffic. Those new connections, those new CBRS small sites, they are sorely needed because Verizon got a lot of customers and people are using a lot of data. All right, so it's been good to have it, and Silva was mentioning the ultra wideband. That's been good too. People are using that for fixed wireless access at home, and they're using it for mobility too.
Yeah, when I have it, it's good. When I have the ultra wideband, it's good.
All right, which phones you got, bruh? Tell them about the phones that you're rocking.
I always forget to take them out the bag. So the Note 20 Ultra is my backup phone when I'm outside at work, right? So I decided now to actually bring the Note 20 Ultra along as the backup phone because the Fold 2, whenever the Fold 2 starts to die, I do, would want the Note 20, just pop the SIM card in there and have an extra phone to carry me the rest of the day. So the Note 20 Ultra 5G Copper Poppy, you know how it is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got
Copper Poppy.
Copper Poppy. I'm the only one that calls it Copper Poppy. Okay?
That's right. That's a Cova. That's a Cova quotable right there.
That's a quotable. So if you hear any of these tech YouTubers, all right, talking about some Copper Poppy, okay, I'm the one that said it first. I'm the one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then we got the, we got the GOAT right here. Just dangle it out there for him. The Copper Poppy Z Fold 2.
So then, wait, so you went 2 Copper Poppies?
2? Boy, we got. Now I'm not gonna get up. I'm not gonna get up because I got the. Do I have it here? Can I get it? I got the Tab S7 in the Copper Poppy too.
Damn, Copper the mess. Damn.
And then we got, of course, this ain't going nowhere. We ain't never getting rid of this.
ROG Phone 2, right?
ROG Phone 2 right there. Mm-hmm. Still in use. That's the only phone I'll play video games on. That's the only phone I can play Call of Duty on.
That's what it was made for.
That's it. Listen, I got all the accessories for that. So yeah, so we got the Z Fold 2 5G, Note 20 Ultra 5G, Tab S7, all copper Mystic Bronze colors, the ROG Phone 2, and that is it for mobile devices. I got a bunch of old phones. I don't need to talk about that, but that is it for mobile devices.
All right,
and that is for me. That is a solid lineup. You got
3 that you carry.
No, I only carry 2. I carry the Z Fold 2 and the Note 20 Ultra. Those are 2 that I carry with me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So for the gaming, just as needed. For the Tab, kind of hangs around the house probably, right?
The Tab is good because sometimes you're lazy and you want to have something to watch, but you want the speakers, but you don't want to Chromecast it on the TV.
Right.
The Tab fits in. Like the Tab is depends on how I'm feeling. Like sometimes I'll just play a video or some Twitch videos on the Tab instead of playing it on the Chromecast. And then the Tab just rocks out for me. ROG Phone 2 has all my games on. All my mobile games runs directly off the ROG Phone 2.
All right. So what you buying, bro? We got a lot of gear out there that you could be buying. I know you got your streaming setup.
We got the Go XLR, we got the Ashton Stealth mic.
Okay? But hold on. You got streaming that you're doing. Mm-hmm. You got personal computer. You got work computer, I'm sure, maybe laptop, right?
No laptops.
Okay, so no laptop. So you're strictly a desktop kind of person.
Desktop PC master race.
Okay. All right. So you got all this gear. You got TVs. Are there any headphones in your world? There's a lot of stuff, man. What I'm asking you is, are you in the market for anything? There's a lot of stuff you could buy now, right? So is there anything that's on your radar?
The Aver Media Nexus is a mixer. I'm very much aware that is horrible on the software. I'm still very curious about that. So I'm curious about that device. Then we got the Rodecaster Pro. I'm just curious to see how it compares to the Go XLR. Of course, I still got the ROG Phone 5 on my radar. The Note, the Z Flip 5G, again, for that copper color. I'm terrible with it.
As long as they make a copper color, that's what you get.
I just want it for the copper color. I don't even need it for the flippy. I got the Fold. I don't need a flippy phone, but I just want it, for the collection.
It's an expensive collection, bro.
It is, right? it really is. It's a stimulus check collection.
Dang.
But as far as more other phones other than the ROG Phone 5, which I am actually interested in, I'm not an iPhone person, so I'm not however, iPhone, what is it, the 13 Pro Max is a huge phone, and it took me a minute to take in how big that phone actually was, and I had to take out my Fold to measure the weight because I was like, wow, this is a really heavy phone. I've never been a big fan of the Pixel phones, so the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pros are going to be passes for me. Headphones, I know we got I got the Sony MX3s and the WF X3s, I think it's called, the X3s or the X2s. the buds, the Sony buds. So I got a pair of those. And honestly, man, like I don't feel a need to replace my Sony headphones, right?
Bro, that's some good gear. You're getting yourself some good. I call it top shelf gear. You're not cutting the corners. You're getting yourself high quality gear. I mean, that's some of it's going to hurt the wallet, but it's good stuff. Like you don't have to keep buying gear when you buy the right gear.
Yeah, because I'm not a gas person. I am so much against gas. I do not promote gas on my channel. I don't promote senseless buying just to get views and clicks and to make videos. Like I don't do that. So I promote buying things good of quality. So the Sony products I buy are of quality, flagship products only. So the buds of the flagship buds and the over the ear headphones are the flagship over the ear headphones. So buying that those two models, right? I don't feel a need to buy the next year models after that because I don't really see the advancement in the technology. Yes, they're going to sound a little bit better, but I'm not going to be the person that's going to pay $400 or what is it, $399? How much are those headphones? $399, I think they are.
They're expensive.
So I'm not gonna
usually
pay.
up. Any headphones in that category or that class, Bose, they always price them around $400.
But I'm not gonna pay $400 just to have things sound a little bit better, right? That doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense to me.
the margin of gain is slim.
Yeah,
I think once you get over $200, things start to bleed over a little bit. Like
everything just evens out after that.
Yeah, and then it becomes like, well, which brand am I loyal to because I trust them for quality, or I trust their warranty, or how they handle claims, or whatever. Like some of that stuff comes into play too.
Sony did your boy very well though, because
nice.
the X2s, the over the air 2s, like Josh says, law of diminishing returns. Absolutely. So the X2s got water in them. And I had to contact Sony, and I did a little finagling about the warranty, and they sent your boy over the brand new X3s.
How are they?
I've been using them for 3 years.
Tremendous,
bigly, huge. So,
Technoid's a big supporter of those headphones, I believe. Actually, Technoid's one of the few guys that I'll actually watch and listen to for audio reviews. I feel like he's got a good grasp on the audio.
Absolutely.
He looks, I think, and that's what we do, right? We always watch those that we think strike the relatability. So what are we looking for in headphones? Right? I'm not looking to break the bank. I got a family and at times they're more important than my
that's real
listening
life,
pleasure,
Yeah,
so
that's real life.
Right. Yeah, so I'll watch some of his stuff, what he reviews, and I kind of take that and use that for purchasing decisions. And I have a couple nice pair of headphones, and then I have a couple that are like my day-to-days. And then I have a couple pairs of earbuds. And I feel like that's kind of where people end up with headphones.
Oh, and I got these too. These are the OGs. Remember these?
I do.
These came with the first fold that I got, the OG fold. Perfect.
I remember back in the day when AKGs first started going into those Galaxies.
Yeah.
And they were wired, but I loved them.
Yeah.
I thought they were good. And
excellent.
Actually, the best pair of headphones I ever got with a phone was the HTC One M7. It came with the Beatz by Dre pair of headphones. And that was tremendous.
I think I got them over here somewhere. The wired AKGs.
Yep, I still got mine from my S20.
Yeah, I love those headphones.
And my Note 10 maybe I think came with a pair too. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use these small buds right here when I'm going outside real quick, and I don't want to carry the heavy earbuds. I just pop these into my pocket, put these into my ear. Perfect for me for taking my phone calls in the house.
Right. So yeah, it's good stuff. Hey, we got 3 events coming up next week.
Apple
on the 18th.
I actually hit the notifications for that.
Okay, so you're ready for that?
Yeah. I want to see what they.
What's coming? What's the devices? What's the machines? What are we getting?
I just want to see, because I normally just ignore Apple events.
So you want to see the leak? You're ready for the apple juice?
Yeah, I want to see some of the apple juice, man. I want to see the apple juice, man. I gotta see some of this apple juice, man.
So see, me and you are on the same page with Apple. We know what time it is with Apple.
Yeah. Right.
And we get it. We understand iMessage and we understand FaceTime, and they got everybody by the what, But I have iPhones, and I really don't even like them all that much. They were good They were better this year than they have been in the past because they upgraded the
A
cellular modems.
a lot of people have been saying that. Yeah, the
Right.
battery
So,
life too, right?
well, these new ones they're supposed to have incredible battery life. I was talking to Josh Posey. He was talking about this, and he was saying he's getting like 11, 12, 13 hours of screen on time. So that's pretty impressive. So if you get a plus size phone like the Max, the expectation is you get a bigger battery in there, the battery life's better. But it looks like it's even going beyond the expectations of what people have wanted, and that's good. So if you've been disappointed with Apple's battery life, they have addressed that. I also think if you've been disappointed with their displays, that got better too. So now it's like, now they have phones worth upgrading for. So if you've been getting played with the annual upgrade and you've stopped, like maybe you got a 10S or a 10S Max, right? And you're like, okay, well, the 11's the same. And then, all right, I don't feel like upgrading another $1,000 for a 12. If you're coming up from a 10S Max, you're doing pretty good with a 13, right? It's because you've got a little bit of space between those launches. It's now there's legitimate upgrades, display, battery, camera. Like now it's an upgrade and you're going to stick with your Apple ecosystem. So at least now you could say it's worth it. Do I think it's the best phone available? I mean, I had an S21 Plus, and that was a beast of a phone. And I ended up giving it to my mom, and she loves it. The speakers are loud and clear. The display is beautiful. It's got tons of storage. Like she's happy with it. I liked it too, but I was just carrying too many damn phones.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like some people tell me they carry 3 phones. I'm like, for what?
I know, man. I had 4. So I was like, I was carrying 3 and using 1 to record. So I was like, all right, I got to lighten up. So now it's, carry the 3. So I'm using 2 for testing. And actually, I even took it a step further in the last 2 months. I put all my eSIMs on 1 phone, right? And that's the one thing I'll give Apple their credit where it's due. They're doing the eSIM right. I got 3 eSIM profiles on my iPhone 12. And that's all it is. And I take a phone with me to record. Sometimes I take the Pixel, sometimes I take the other iPhone, and that's it. And I record and I just switch the SIMs. I go between eSIM profiles and
you're still doing your videos on the on your phones, right? Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I've always thought that if my channel is going to be about mobile technologies, I really should record using mobile tech. So I record with the Pixel, I record with the iPhone. I used to record with the Galaxy when I had it, and it was good. I would get different results out of each phone. The software and the sensors act a little different with each company. So like, I kind of like I always like the 4K that Galaxy put out. I used to like that. The Google's got some really great photography, but I don't like the audio on the Google Record. I'm like, this is weird. Like, it doesn't sound as good as the iPhone. So I never really found my true solution for my recording. Like year to year, I just go with
Samsung
what I think
does
is
pretty
best.
good with videos. Samsung
I think
video is
so.
kind of underrated.
I think it's great, and the audio is good too.
Yeah, Apple's video is a little bit overrated, and Samsung's video is a bit underrated.
I think you're right. I see it the same way. There's nothing wrong with Apple's video. It's just it's overstated.
Yes, I think it's over. Yeah, it's
I think just people just embellish or exaggerate it too much to the point, because what they're basically saying is, if you want to record video, use an iPhone. Don't use anything else, which is wrong.
Yeah.
That's completely wrong. There are other phones that record just fine, and there are other phones that do other things better too. So it's like,
and something I've noticed on Twitter, someone posted on Twitter, and I didn't realize because I don't really pay much attention to iPhones, but I noticed that the iPhone 13 crushes blacks. Have you seen that?
What does that mean?
So when you crush blacks, right? Say you have a shadow, right? See how this shadow is right here, but you can see the detail and definition. So instead of you being able to see that, matter of fact, because I'm the technician, I'm gonna show you right now on OBS. I got color correction over here, so I'm gonna show you what happens when you crush blacks, right? So I'm gonna go to color correction, and I'm just gonna bring the contrast down. This is the contrast, and this is what it looks like when you crush blacks.
Okay,
right?
So you lose definition.
You lose definition. So that's what it looks like when you crush blacks, right? So all my blacks are crushed now because there's no definition, right? So what I was saying is that I'm gonna undo, control undo. Okay. So what I was saying is what I saw in some of the pictures is that the iPhone is crushing blacks versus Android phones, Pixel, Samsung, whatever, are showing detail in the shadows and not actually crushing the blacks. And I noticed that with a couple of night shots people were posting in comparisons.
So what's going to start to happen is you're going to start seeing like photography that has a profile, like that fits the Apple profile, right? Like if somebody takes a photo and it's a night shot and you get used to seeing it, you're going to know it when you see it. You're like, oh, that's an iPhone. It's crushing blacks, right? It's getting rid of the lines. It's getting rid of the definition. It becomes like a tendency.
Check out that comment from Josh. See what he says right there with the iPhone and in the HDR processing.
All right, let's do this one from Sean real quick. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate the super
Shout
chat.
out.
Just saying hi. We appreciate you. Josh right here. The iPhone 13 HDR processing, less likely to brighten darker spots. As much as the 12 Pro, it looks more real. I guess I'd have to see it. I couldn't comment on it without looking. So
yeah, you have to see it. You have to see it for yourself.
I'm sure, Josh, you can send me some photos if you can maybe get 2 shots of the same thing, and I can kind of see it because that's interesting.
Yeah.
This one from Visually Impaired Tech and More. Are you ready for the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro? Yes, I am. I'm a huge Pixel fan. I've owned pretty much every Pixel, every generation. I've owned basically every Nexus device. So Shamu, the Pixel, the Google Nexus 6. I had the 6P from Huawei. This is before they got exiled.
that Nexus 6 was like the biggest phone I've ever seen.
It was
in my
huge.
life.
And dude, I was telling you, like I gave my mom the S21 Plus. That was the phone she had before. Like she loved the Nexus.
Was that
6.
how big was that? Was that 6.8?
It was, but back in the day, those phones had big bezels. So like the display was big, but it was crazy.
Damn, Sneed is with the pixie dust. I feel you, man.
So the reason why I've always liked the Pixels, and Curtis is asking why, the software experience is so smooth. The user interface is very simple and straightforward. I feel like you could give anybody a Pixel, come back in 2 days, and they got it. Right? You give somebody a Galaxy phone, I think they're going to find new features on the daily. Right? There's going to be new stuff to learn all the time. So it's like, I feel like most people who want a Galaxy are not interested in a Pixel. And most people that like Pixels aren't really interested in Galaxies. I like both, but I like them for different reasons. The one thing that's really nice about the Google phones is the updates. You're going to get very timely software support, extended software support. Now, Samsung got better at that. That helps their cause, right? So like now I can recommend and say, well, you can't say Samsung's not supporting their phones well, because now they are, right? They're saying they're going to give you 4 years or 3 years. And it's not like how it was before. So they're fixing things about what made their sales pitch weaker. I do like the displays on the Galaxies. I think those are the best in the industry. I do like the power suite of features that they offer. Like if I could have one phone only and I couldn't choose, like it was just like you had to have one, I'd go with the whatever Note phone was coming out each year. That would be the phone I would even. But because I can have multiple phones, I'll get a Pixel, an iPhone, and a Galaxy. So because I can, but if I couldn't, I'd get a Note every year. One phone, I'm getting a Note.
Note, definitely. Shout out to Alexis for the super sticker.
Thanks, Lord Doritos.
Lord
Appreciate
Doritos.
You. Thanks for coming
shout
through.
out to Nacho Cheese in the building.
Alexis, thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate it. He's very kind and generous and supportive. Thank you. All right, so we talked a little bit about the phones from some of the companies. So Apple's got this event. We don't think it's going to be phones, right? Phones came.
People looking for what is it? The MX, the M1X.
Watch? Are they going to do a watch? Are they going to do a computer?
I thought they already did the watch.
They did the watch. Okay, so when did they start selling it?
I don't know. Didn't Apple Watch just get the new joint, right? He got the gold titanium. Which one? I think I saw Apple Watch ordered the $899 gold titanium Apple Watch.
Okay, all right. Balling out of control, getting the new watch.
Right.
All right. Google's got an event the day after. That's going to be for the Pixel.
The day after. Okay.
So it looks. I mean, who knows how they plan this, but Whether
Josh said the watch pre-orders just went out recently.
Okay. Well, I'm not in the I'm not in the I'm not in the market for an Apple Watch. I think they're
we just
brother.
G-Shock. We on the G-Shock side of the game over
Well,
here.
here's
So.
my problem with the Apple Watch. It's ugly.
Yeah.
It's square.
Mm-hmm.
I like circular timepieces. It's to me, it's more classic. So
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't look at the Apple Watch as a watch. I look at it as a wearable.
Yeah.
You know, to me, a watch is a round face. It's, dude, I got a Movado. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
You
got
got
a
a
real
watch.
timepiece.
You have a
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah. So to me, I think the Apple Watch, it's the functionality that makes it special. It's all the things, the tracking that it does for you, all that. So it's about utilitarianism. It's not really the appearance. So I get it. I'm not really in. Carlos tried to get me on this. He tried to get me into, I think, an iMac. He wants me to buy an iMac, but I like desktop, like traditional desktop PCs, because I know them and they're powerful, and I don't have to spend $3,000.
Look here, man.
You know,
God bless you on that. Okay.
well, here's how I look at it, Silva. I can spend $1,000 and get a badass machine.
Yes, you can.
And then to get that type of machine from Apple, $2,600.
Yeah.
And so, like, to me, it's just a value play, because I can get along just fine with either one. And I don't even use iMessage like the way it's designed to be, or I don't really use FaceTime as like I just started using it because my wife and Yasmin, they've got iPads and all that, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this. But honestly, take it or leave it. I can download Google Duo. I've used that. I like that.
I use Google Duo with my niece and nephew,
and it's fine. Like it's all good. Apps are apps, So, anyways, I'm leaning more towards another desktop. I think I want to give my brother this desktop because he games a little bit and he needs some power, and this thing is way more power than I actually need. I swung way above what I needed because
what you have right now.
Yeah, it's I think it's an i8 processor.
Okay.
It's I think 2 terabytes of storage.
Okay.
32 gig of RAM.
Okay.
And I don't game.
What's the graphics card in there?
I don't know.
Okay, you want to know? I don't know.
I have because I don't game, or else I would have looked at that, right?
Yeah, I feel you.
But I will say that when I did buy it, I was talking to the Bearded Dragon, Pete, and I sent him the link, and he said, "Get it." So when he approved, I just assumed that everything was covered because I looked at most of the stuff that I need to make sure was good. Like, I don't want the computer to become outdated within 2-3 years. I want it to be good for a handful of years.
You know how you get a computer that's outdated is when you go mid-range budget build. That's how you get outdated. You get outdated when you go mid-range budget build. So you get outdated when you're playing around with like i3, i5, 36, 3500 on the Ryzen side. You get outdated when you're trying to be budget mid-range. Like when you go high-end, near enthusiast, you don't get outdated, and you have components that last 8 to 10 years easy. Like my computer, RTX 3090, Ryzen 3700X, 32 gigabytes of RAM, Asus motherboard, water cooler is perfectly fine. Like this computer is going to last 8 years, 10 years tops, with the graphic card probably not ever really needing to be replaced because it has 24 gigs of GDDR-XX6 whatever, right? So that's not going to get outpaced regardless of what NVIDIA does, because it's still going to be able to keep up for quite some time. So when you build like that and you get components like that, you don't have to worry about, I don't know when it's going to get replaced and how it's going to get outpaced. Now, if you're on the Mac side of the game, you will get outpaced probably with the next year's model, right? And you may be behind the times.
But what's your expectations when you go in to buy a PC, or you go in to buy anything, a phone, a PC, whatever? You can't expect to have something that's going to last more than a year as top of the line, because the stuff gets replaced each year with a new model, right? Like the newest graphics card, the newest.
It depends on your use case. It depends on how you build it. So if we're talking about, graphic processors, if we're just looking at pure hardware, if you get something with 16 or 24, you're going to be good for a while.
I don't even know what this dude just wrote. What is that word?
Sino Theresa, let me get that PC. No. No.
Not happening, Chief.
Not happening.
I think he was trying to spell rhinoceros. I think that's what he was trying to do.
Are you talking about you?
He's talking about me.
He called you rhinoceros, man.
Because I really feel like, I mean, I've had this machine for almost 2 years. It's just as fast as it ever was. It starts up in 10 seconds like a damn Chromebook. You know, like these kids turn on their Chromebooks at school and it's like 10 seconds, right? Because it's not like a real OS. It's like, it's a browser, right? Yeah. But like, man, this thing starts up fast. I don't have problems. Everything is butter. The live streams run great. The editing, no, everything is good.
You edit on a Chromebook?
No, my desktop.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't do nothing. Bro, I hate Chromebooks.
Oh, I was about to say, what type of magic black sorcery are you working over there? What?
Bro, actually, you know when I had a Chromebook in 2014, the first thing I did with it?
What?
I installed Linux. You know, right away.
Yeah.
Right away. And it ran great. It was way better. But like I had to get some external storage, you know, because those Chromebooks just ain't cutting it. Yeah. And I bought the 4 gig model. It was the highest you could get at the time. And I'm just like, man, this sucks. But
gave you a 16 gig hard drive.
Yeah, bro. It was something stupid like that. So yeah, I had an external hard drive and it worked out for a couple of years. Terrible. I ended up giving the computer to my brother. He used it at college and stuff. Everything was docs and all that. So he was good. All right. Samsung's got an event on the 21st.
I have no idea what are they going?
Yeah, what are we gonna see, man?
Is it the Note 22? What is it? 21? The Note 20? The Note 21?
We ain't gonna see the Note, man. No way.
Didn't they already mention that they're bringing the Note back? They already filed the copyright patent for the Note.
Yeah, but is it ready now? Like, have they been developed? I mean, look, shortage. Look, we're gonna talk about this actually. The supply chain is jacked up.
Supply chain is beyond jacked up.
It is bad.
It's worse. Like, remember we talked about this last year?
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than it was last year. Yeah.
Last year was kind of like the rumblings of it, right?
Yeah,
like, yeah, now it's just all out terrible.
Yeah.
All sorts of terrible. So I mean, that had to have contributed to the fact that there's no Note this year.
Yeah.
It had to. They're just like, yo, we got to put out this S21. We're already having supply issue, and we got to get these folds out. Where they prioritize the folds, you know, the foldables. The was it the Fold 3 Flip? Was it Flip 3 or Flip 2?
Yeah, Flip 3, and
Fold 3. Mm-hmm. Okay, they prioritize those because they're very profitable devices. You know, so even though the Note is the trademark Galaxy device, like to me, it was always the pinnacle smartphone. I don't know why they got rid of it. What direction were they going? I don't know.
I don't know why. I mean, the Note, nothing in the world beats pressing the button at the bottom of the Note and having access to the pen.
The pen is big time. I used to edit a lot of videos on the S Pen.
I don't know I don't know. And still to this day, if I'm taking out my phone and I'm at stores and I'm on the train, people still look, oh, is that the folding phone? They should be. What are you talking about? Oh, Chromebooks? Word.
Yeah, they're dogging Chromebooks. I'm gonna pull up Ryan's comment here. Ryan is asking a question about I think the S21 and how it's gonna work on some of these networks. So let me get to that for Ryan. Sneed, is the S21 going to work on mid-band 5G on Verizon? And the answer is yes. It'll be the first phone to work on Verizon mid-band. So he's probably asking about C-band. So there's going to be a nice little upgrade coming your way, Ova. And there's a new spectrum band, N77 C-band. And New York's going to be one of those markets that's just it's going to be great. It's going to be like instantaneous capacity upgrades. I'm not sure if you've been looking around or if you're seeing nodes or if you're seeing tower sites, people working. I know you said you're not out all that much, but
I see some actually. You know, I pay attention more because I see some towers where I live. Right, so this
are they on the rooftops and stuff?
Yeah, they're on the rooftops. Yeah. They're on the rooftops. I see some tower sites where I live. They're on the rooftops. I don't see I have to look for them because I don't see like the tree ones, like the ones that look like the trees.
Nah, the ones out west.
Yeah. I don't see any of those. Yeah. So I have to look for those. But when I'm out in the boonies,
right?
In the boonies, I'll look for them because I'll be out in the boonies sometimes.
Pine trees, palm trees.
Yeah. I'm out in the boonies sometimes, so I'm gonna look for those 5G towers out there, man.
That's right. Yep. So there's a bunch of capacity coming. He was asking about that mid-band. So it'll be the iPhone, it'll be the Google phone, and it'll be the Galaxies. Those will be really noticeable upgrades in capacity once the C-band goes live.
Yeah, Lord Doritos, I'm in the Bronx. Yeah.
BX, baby.
Yes, indeed.
All right. So speaking of the supply shortage and the supply chain, there's also a retail worker shortage. I have my thoughts on this. Okay, so I have students, many students. And this kid said something to me so profound. Unintentionally. He was just being a kid, but it like resonated because something clicked. He was telling me, I was asking him how his job was going because I knew he had a job.
Oh, you see high school students, right?
High school students, right? And he's like, yeah, I got fired. And I was like, oh, dude, that's terrible. I'm sorry. Like to me, I feel like losing employment is a loss. He's like, no big deal. I'll get another job. I'm like, huh? Like you just taking it on the chin like that? Like usually when people lose jobs, it's like something bad happened. It hurts them. Something bothers them internally about it, right? He's like, just get another job. It's cool. No big deal. That was his response.
Yeah.
And then it clicked. People have options. They're not fighting for jobs because there is an abundance of lower level to mid-entry level jobs. And people will pick the job where they have to do the least and make the most. And they'll weigh the benefits of certain positions. And the moment something a little better comes out, they pivot. That's how I'm seeing it.
The boomer generation does not like this. This is why they hate millennials the most. And I think this new generation is like Gen Zers. I don't know. I forget keeping track now. But this is why they hate. I don't know. It's like this is why they hate Gen Zers and millennials, because we're like, I'm not staying here for 20 years. I don't want to stay here for 3. I just go get another job, right? And the pandemic, like, it put that into warp speed now, right? So instead of people grinding out at jobs, listen, forget this job, I'm out, right? Find another job. So we're at a position now where there's these companies, and we're not talking about just low level, we're talking about companies up and down, whatever infrastructure size that you want to think of. They're having a hard time filling roles for people, because people just don't want to be bothered with the jobs anymore. Like jobs that are too much work and people don't feel the pay is worth it. These companies are having a hard time filling roles. People are just simply like, I can find something else better to do with my time.
I'm telling you, Silva, they're weighing their options all the time.
And this is affecting the supply chain jobs.
Exactly. So the jobs that were considered to be mundane, repetitive, entry, that a lot of the production jobs, right? Like they produce and manufacture goods that people consume regularly, consumables, right? Like even stuff like that. It's hurting right now. And we've seen a little bit in the trucking and transpo. It's been a lot of different things.
The trucking thing is a little bit different, right? So the trucking thing is not so much because there's a lack of drivers. It's so much of that, the product is not being moved out of the ports.
Well, that's where I'm getting at is now we're trying to identify where are the holdups and where are the issues. Now we're starting to see people trying to blame or put responsibility on things that aren't necessarily true. Right? So like I've heard of the holdups on purpose.
Purposely.
So they're holding containers
purposely
and saying, hey, we don't know where your thing is. It's held up. We don't know, when it's going to get here. And all of a sudden you pay a little bit extra more money and your thing is magically going to show up the next day. And it's like, what?
Top
now
down.
You guys are playing games, right?
No, actually, some of it is actually from the top down saying, don't move it. From top down straight up, like, don't move it, just leave it. Yeah, that's exactly what's being. That's from different reports at different ports all across the world. Is that we got one issue where, these companies are trying to deliver out of blue states and they can't because of whatever the laws are in the blue states. So they got to reroute everything to the red states and go through the Panama Canal, go through Texas. And then on top of that, things are being told to just be, just leave it alone and just leave it there. So there's also that, because there's drivers that's willing to drive, but there's these trucks are just lined up there. So, and I work right now with a job that's part of the supply chain, right? And firsthand, right, there's an issue with having people to do the job. So there's that. So there's a lot of people that don't want to do the job. And then on top of that, deliveries of certain items are becoming very scarce. There's a lot of holes that you have to fill. And that's the problem with merchandising and stuff like that, because they make the holes disappear where you think that everything is okay, but if you actually do it, you see that everything is not okay.
It's true. It's true. So we've got supply chain issues. We have retail issues. We have, workers and all of this. It's just a lot of movement, right? Like I don't really sit here and try to cast any blame. I just look for answers, right? So like, what's the cause? What's the root of the issue? But all I could tell people is this is not stopping anytime soon.
Oh no.
Right. So our setback that occurred a year and a half ago, however, I don't know, what do you want to say, February, March of 2020, right? So, we knew by June, like May, June, we're like, all right, production has literally halted for 4 or 5 months. That means we're probably behind a year, right? Because we accelerated our needs for things, but the production halted. Yep. It wasn't trickling. It wasn't slow. It was zero. So that really set us back essentially a year. And then when we started production on many things, it was slow and it was catch up. So we're still catching up to what we were missing for those months. Like all that work that would have been there and all the things that would have been made. I just don't think people have a good grasp or understanding of the gravity of this. So honestly, I've told people, temper your expectations, place orders for things and do not expect them quickly. And if there are certain things you need by a certain time, plan accordingly, have backup plans, have things that you can fall back on, and just be realistic about your expectations. It's illogical to think that you're going to pull some kind of string and find a way. It's just not realistic.
And we're not even talking about raw materials.
Okay, so I mean, well, okay, so look at all the work that's being done on roads, right? Like that was all delayed too. How about my fiber? It's being installed now. That was supposed to be done in May. They're just loading up the cable into the conduit tomorrow or the next day, right? So maybe my fiber gets turned on in October. Maybe. That was originally supposed to be live in May. So that means they thought they were going to be ready for it by May. Wrong. They started digging at the beginning of October. All right. And that's just me, right? What about everybody else? I'm sure everybody else has a story.
Yeah.
All right. And maybe Barry's right. Great time to get a new job. Maybe he's right. And hit the ground running on it.
Not a great time to get a new job. A great time to make money for yourself, right? Because with the way things are shaping up, a lot of jobs aren't probably going to be able to make money in the long term. There's companies, right? There's companies and jobs that, in the city in New York right now that are knocking on death's doorstep right now. Because one, they can't find people to work. Two, they don't have enough people to give them money, right? So I wouldn't say now's the right time to put yourself in a sinking ship, per se, right? Now's the right time to find a way for you to make money for yourself, right? Because if you can make money for yourself, and if you can make money for at home for yourself, you're not well, unless you're in Australia. That's a whole different conversation.
What is going on over there, CEO?
That's prison. So not to go into too much in details, but Australia is what happens where you think you give things up and you think you're doing it for the benefit, and what happens is that in the long run you do it to your detriment. So you give things up in Australia because you think you're doing it for the benefit of your society, but you're doing it for the detriment in the long run. Because in America, right, we have things that allow us to keep the government in check. Ultimately, right, if things just get beyond crazy, the citizens of the United States have tools to keep the government in check, right? The citizens of Australia don't really have those kind of tools. From what I see now, don't really have those kind of tools to keep the government in check, which is why now they're going to institute, I think by November 13th, if they don't get a jab, people are going to be fined $5,000 and they're going to be told that they can't come to work anymore. So,
That was one of the things that I wanted to mention is I thought about the economy, and the supply chain, and like there are certain jobs that are now going to require, certain things, like they're going to become requirements and you can't avoid it. The first thing I thought to myself, because I saw this in telco with AT&T and T-Mobile and Verizon, and the carriers were starting to say we're going to mandate, this vaccination and these things. And I was like,
you should
man,
just say jab. You should just say jab.
okay, well, that's fine. And like I thought about the
No, I'm just letting you know
repercussions.
because the YouTube AI picks that word up.
That's
That's why.
okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
okay.
All right. Okay.
It
I didn't know if
yeah,
you. I didn't
it's
know if
not
you was aware
gonna.
of that.
Yeah, I am, but I don't think it's gonna get too risque here. But
Okay.
like
Yeah. 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 All right. Yeah. You're right. You're
I th-
right on that. You're right on
I
that.
think like the first thing I thought about Siova was there are people that are not going to comply with that, right? And they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna quit or get fired because of it. And then what if other companies don't require it? And then they're gonna take trade secrets to the next company and the competitor.
Well, a lot of companies now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My fault. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like that was one of the things I thought about. Like, say somebody who worked for AT&T that didn't want it, right? And it's like, all right, well, I'll just leave AT&T and I'll go to a carrier that doesn't require it. I'll go to Verizon or and
Mm-hmm.
T-Mobile, and then they take trade
Yeah.
secrets with them. Like I thought about strategically how some of this could backfire, So even if a company like, I thought to myself, there is almost a lane of companies who could say we don't require it, and you can cater to that, and you can get some pretty fantastic people who have great knowledge from other companies, and you'd be like, yo, I know everything about these companies. And it could be upper level people with some really important details on business operations.
Well, here's the thing, right? Mass compliance with the mandates is currently failing. You see that with Southwest Airlines, United Airlines, the airline companies. They're having to walk back their mandates for their vaccinations, and that's also with Intel. Intel has a very awesome policy where they're not requiring that, and they're telling supervisors that you can ask people about it, right? Because here's what's happening: people with non-compliance, they're staying home, right? They're not coming to work. And because of that, you have Southwest Airlines had to cancel 2,000 plus flights over the weekend, right?
Mhm.
So the media is saying that it's because of weather issues when it's because of the vaccination compliance, the mandates, right? So what's going to happen is that a lot of these other industries are going to try to hold on to these mandates, and then these workers are going to just not show up and not come to work, and they're eventually going to have to walk that back because you don't want to enforce something that's not really legal to begin with and then lose millions upon millions of dollars per day, right? So it's one thing for South, because the thing with Southwest, it's not just because of customer flights, right? Because those planes are also freight. They transport
Oh,
things by
sure.
air on
Absolutely.
those
Well,
planes, right?
big time freight.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not just people. It's not just Sneed trying to go to, Atlanta. It's carrying merchandise, product, materials on those planes. So if you're canceling 2,000 flights over the course of a weekend, you're canceling 2,000 flights and tons of merchandise that you can't travel in, that you can't deliver anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and
So if you're looking at okay.
I knew right away, Siova. I knew this was gonna get complicated, because there were gonna be people that weren't gonna have it and weren't gonna take it,
Mm-hmm.
and it was going to affect the businesses.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know, are people surprised? I say you can't be surprised. I mean, who didn't see that coming?
You
Who
know,
didn't see this being problematic, you
the
know?
people at the top are not as smart as people think they are. And so a lot of people think that these people are geniuses, and they're pretty stupid, and they overestimate people's ability to think freely at times. So they automatically assume that everybody was just going to, acquiesce to it. And that's not really the case, right? And then when it starts costing them money, then they have to think about it for a second, because
Right. Yeah, because that was gonna mess with business operations, right? It was gonna
yeah,
disrupt. It was gonna be a disruptor.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So when you're looking at AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Visible, all these companies,
AT&T
and
backtracked.
they have to. No,
They
you have
did.
to. You're going to
They
have to
did.
backtrack. Yeah, you're
Mhm.
going to, because right now it's just like what people don't understand is it's just chicken, right? It's just chicken, right? They'll say, okay, we'll do this. Okay, well, 2,000 of us will walk out and we'll go home and we'll stay our asses home and we'll use our sick time.
AT&T has, I think, over 100,000 employees worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the US employment, but I'm sure it's mostly US
Yeah.
employees.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe 80% or something like that. And that was one of the things I considered. I'm like, all right, AT&T is huge. There's going to be a large number of people that are going to be like, I'm going to have to look for a job somewhere else,
Yeah.
and they will. And because they're good and they're talented and they're skilled, it won't be hard for them to land
Nope.
on their feet,
Nope. Nope.
and they're going to take everything they know with them.
Nope. Now, isn't there I forget that I've been since you said that, I've been trying to remember what the name of the law was. Is it corporate sabotage? Is that the name of the law? Corporate sabotage? Corporate espionage? What is it?
Espionage is spying, right?
Yeah, like what is it? What is it when you're taking trade secrets to another company illegally? Is it corporate sabotage?
Yeah, yeah, that sounds, or I could see how that could be espionage, but
Right?
that would be with the intention of reporting back.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're a
yeah.
spy, right?
Yeah, because as you mentioned it, I'm trying to remember what the name of it was. I couldn't get to it, but if these people are leaving, if these people like Intel's smart, right? Intel does not have the leeway to play chicken when they've been taking L's for the past 3 years. They can't afford to lose people to AMD or Nvidia or these other companies, right? Intel can't afford to do that. So Intel's smart by making their policies. Well, of course, they said that the CEO was like Amish Christian, so there's also that aspect, that libertarian aspect. But it's a smart play on Intel's side because you're not putting yourself in a position where you can lose talent to your competitors when
Right.
things are really tight, because things are really tight for Intel right now,
Mhm.
right? AMD
Mhm.
has taken over and Nvidia's on their tails as well. So you can't afford to lose talent to competitors because of of mandates.
I think I think we're probably, I don't know, man, mid 2022 where things stabilize, employment,
Maybe
production, maybe. Yeah, I kind of, all right, we'll call that like the best case
the
scenario.
best. I
I
mean,
I can't see
worst.
it being any sooner than that.
I think 2025. To be honest with you,
Wow.
because what's happening with this supply chain is we're not here at the end game of the supply chain issue. We're at the beginning, because we were at the beginning of 2020, 2020. We're in 2021 now, and it's picking up, and it's only going to accelerate from here, right? So if you're
Well, look at
saying
the
things,
stocks, Ova. Look at the stocks. They're all down, right?
the stock
Anybody that produces anything,
the
it's all
stock
down.
market, right? The stock market is pretty much it's like, what's the thing you put in the oven, and it's a souffle, right? The stock market is a souffle,
Where are you going
right?
with this? Let's see. Let's see.
If you can look, you can use your eyes and look around and see things are bad, right? You can use your eyes. People can use. You don't even have to be a big brain wolf on Wall Street. You can simply look around and see things aren't on the up and up, right? But the stock market, you look at the stock market, it tells you something entirely different, right? So what's going to happen eventually? It's going to happen one way or another. It has to happen. There has to be a collapse. It has to happen. Eventually, it'll happen. It may not even happen at the end of this year. It may have to begin in this year, but it will happen because things are just bad with the supply chain. They're so bad with the supply chain. It's inevitable, right? It's inevitable. So
I mean,
if you're
Apple is one of the most resistant stocks to crashes, right? It's always been an ascending stock.
Mhm.
And that one, because of the Apple iPhone demand being so high, like everybody wants to upgrade, but the supply can't match. So the stock has dropped $10, $12, even though everything is fantastic at Apple. Like the numbers are, people are buying the phones.
Because if you don't have the material, like you need silver, okay, right?
Oh, there's the metal, the minerals. I mean, come on, man, you got to make these phones.
You need silver, you need copper, titanium, palladium, gold. Like you need minerals, like you need these minerals, right? You need actual minerals, raw materials, right? You can't get the people to mine the materials, you can't get people to ship the materials, you can't get people to
you see what Apple did, or AT&T.
What did they do?
They got a dedicated facility just for their own fiber from Corning. They got them. They opened up a facility just to produce for them.
There's companies are making moves right now because they see what's coming.
Right.
They see what's coming. So to think that in 2022 things are going to go back to normal is kind of foolish at this point, when they're already telling people on CNN to prepare for things. So in disaster movies where they say, "Oh, don't tell anybody," right? They say, "Don't tell anybody." And in a disaster movie, people on the news find out when it's already here, right? It's already here. Now we're gonna let you know. So now they're letting you know now. Before they weren't saying anything, they told you it's conspiracy theory, you're crazy. Now they're letting you know. So when the news are letting you know, and everybody, it's not even a left or right issue anymore. Everyone's letting you know. There's no way you can assume that everything's gonna be good in 2022.
Yeah, I was thinking if things steadily improve between now and 2022, right? So we catch up a little bit, periodically. So more and more people start working the jobs involved in production. Everything starts to normalize in terms of employment. Now, if things don't normalize in employment, how the heck are we going to recover production supply and manufacturing supply? It won't happen. It will literally be delayed until that starts to happen, because until everything is completely autonomous and robotic, people get it done. Until that point, people are getting it done.
And the robots really aren't that good, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's an arm.
Yeah.
They're just automatic arms. They move one thing to another point and somebody else just watches. I've gone to facilities, like, say, for example, I went to a facility where they manufacture the gearboxes for like the automatic transmissions. You remember Subaru? I don't know if they're still using them, but the CVT transmissions where you don't feel it shift. All right, it just like the RPMs just like stay flat right where it is, and it's just like a seamless transition shifting. All right, so like there's like 14 little gear packs in those transmissions.
Okay.
So I went to a facility where they manufacture them, and I was like, there's like 4 employees in the whole place. I'm like, yeah, we manufacture these for Subaru and Nissan. I'm like, this place does all that? They're like, yeah, this is easy. And they're like, here, check out this robot. I'm like, it's an arm. It's just one simple task.
The little Skynet robot arm.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they had like one on each side of the building.
Yep.
And they each did something different, and it was pretty simple. But I mean, it was automated enough, right, to where it was producing at a consistent level, right? Like it wasn't going to scratch its finger and have to go get a Band-Aid, so it kept cooking. Right. So that's what I would joke with the guy who was running it, the plant manager. He's like, yeah, it runs for 8 hours, then we go home, and we make for these companies. I was going to ask you, and we talked a little bit about wireless telecom. Have you been following anything about Dish Wireless or anything? Like, I know Verizon too. Okay, I was going to ask you.
I know, but I watch you guys on Twitter and I watch your YouTube videos, and Dish has been. Are they collaborating with? Is it they're collaborating with Boost?
They operate Boost now, and they're working with AT&T as a network provider now. Like, as they kind of build out their own native 5G network, they're going to be using AT&T and T-Mobile's network for the time being. I was going to ask you, do you think that Dish can do anything substantial coming into this really well-established market where the big carriers are huge, and it's tough to go into a market like that?
Now, is it Dish under the branding of Boost or under the branding of Dish?
Well, we're assuming it's going to be Dish Wireless or something along those lines. Like Boost is their prepaid, right?
Okay,
So
so
like,
Boost
you know
is
how
their
Cricket is AT&T's prepaid. And next topic, me and Silva will get to it quickly. We'll talk about the visible thing. Somebody was asking me about that.
Yeah. I want
But
to hear your
but
thoughts
like
on that.
what do you, any prospects on Dish? You think it's possible? You think it's too much to overcome? Any thoughts?
I think it's a branding issue, right? Because T-Mobile, especially Verizon, are pretty much big dogs in a lot of cities and major cities. So Dish should probably pick up steam in rural areas if they have the coverage for that, because in the cities it's going to be AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon,
So they
and
still got to have
Boost
some
Mobile.
coverage there, though, right? But they could
Yeah.
focus on those other places.
Yeah. If I mean, I don't know what their strategy is, but if they're trying to like swing for the fences in the cities, just like all the big carriers, I don't know how well they're gonna do, because there's Metro PCS, T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, and they all kind of lock down the the metropolitan areas, but there's a lot of people who have bad service in rural areas in the states that need quality
Connections.
quality. Like there's a guy I watch, he's a streamer, and he has like a whole 4G modem set up with the SIM cards and all that other stuff, and he has issues with his connection. He's waiting for Starlink. So people like that could use a quality data provider based on the LTE, 4G, LTE, 5G, whatever, that Dish could provide, because I mean, in New York, like I don't need Dish.
You got a ton of, you got cable, you got fiber, you got all types of offers, right?
Yeah. I can get a burner phone with Metro PCS, Boost Mobile, like Cricket. Like I don't need Dish for that. That's just being honest,
Facts,
So I think
facts.
if they, if their strategy is to focus in the cities, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose badly, bigly.
Yeah, I mean, how do they make a difference there? I
They
kind of see
don't.
it
There's
your way.
no like this.
It's hard to differentiate yourself in some established companies like that have 100+ million customers. Like, how you gonna beat that? It's like
people could just go get Metro PCS.
David and Goliath is a story for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story to give people hope, and sometimes it's hopeless.
You've been watching some of them. You're not even watching some of them old Barack Obama speeches, man, talking about hope.
Hope is a beautiful thing. Hope is a beautiful thing, but like, let's be realistic. They got 100+
Reality
million.
is often disappointing.
It really is, man. It really is. All right, let's talk about this visible thing, man.
Oh my
All right.
God.
So word on the street is, this is purely speculation, is that it's an inside job. It's literally involving employees being sneaky on the sly, right?
That's so bad.
All right, so I got the same indication that you got, where people are hacking accounts, they're changing the password and the recovery email address, so they got full control of the account, right? And then people have a payment method on file, and then they're buying like 2 iPhones.
Oh my
God.
God.
And because they changed the address, the account details, it's literally going somewhere else. It's affected a small number of users, they say, but Visible is a small carrier, right?
That's
so it's
a lot of people.
Well, that's what I'd like to know some actual numbers. Like, did this happen to 1,000 people? Did this happen to 10,000? Because I like to know the scale of things. So the T-Mobile data breach appears to have been complete negligence, which is why the FCC
and
is probing
I never
them.
got an email about that. T-Mobile never notified me about my data being breached.
Okay, so theirs was really bad because they didn't report to it. They didn't speak on it for over a week. So it was brewing and stewing with people. And T-Mobile was like trying to like avoid confronting the issue. That's where a lot of people pushed back. And then it turns out there's a lot of negligence there. So the FCC is probing T-Mobile. So my question to know more about Visible's breach is, how many people does it affect? It looks like they're acknowledging it. So they're already doing a better job with it than T-Mobile did. Because T-Mobile was like, deny, don't answer, don't reply. And then their CEO came out and said sorry. But look at the information that T-Mobile gave up: driver's license, social security number, payment information, all that sensitive stuff, including addresses. Like, people's identities were snatched, right? This, if you have a credit card on file, you're covered, right? The credit card company is on the hook for this, not you. But if it was like your bank account, like a checking account, I don't know if your bank is going to cover. I don't know how they do it. Depends on a bunch of terms and policies of your bank.
Well, if it depends. Like, I have, I got my, I got my digital cheeks clapped before, so
dang.
So I have like a lot of fraud protection on my account. So I have to call my bank for large purchases. So I can't. So there's not going to be. There can never be, a bunch of $1,000, $800 purchases on my account, because it's automatically just going to get blocked. I have to, I have to call first. So if people have that on their bank account, like their debit card, then yeah, they should be fine. But for people that don't have that on their account, and people are, hacking their payment options on Visible. Yeah, I can imagine people getting a bunch of iPhones, Apple Juice charged on their account. So I can imagine.
You had to do that. Yeah.
I had to.
It wasn't even subtle. It wasn't even subtle.
I had to. It was coming. Come on, man.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of, it's like 2 iPhones every time, which I think that might be the max of what Visible allows.
Damn, man.
So they're charging 2 iPhones. It's like $1,700 or $1,800. Right. So yeah, they're going to be dealing with this. I mean, when I had Visible, my name on there was Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's prepaid wireless.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell am I going to put my real name?
Yeah,
I signed up for it like a couple months later, and I just made a new account. What did I do? I think I did David Banner. You know what I'm saying? I was just doing like any name I could think of. Bro, seriously, you remember David Banner, the producer?
Yeah.
I put David Banner.
David Banner. You've been listening to too many mixtapes. That's what it is.
Bro, like, anytime I did a prepaid carrier, I never gave my real information. Mm-hmm. It's prepaid. You're not giving them your social security number.
Yeah.
You're not financing stuff from them. You're just paying for service ahead of time, and you use it for a month. And when the month is over, it's a wrap. Hell, I could put T-Pain if I want to. What are they gonna say? Oh, his name's not T. We're not sending him the SIM card. Come on, bro. Like, you've been lucky to get my money. You've been lucky to get my money.
I need my prepaid. I'm done.
That was good. Oh, bro. See, they never should have gave you equipment, bro.
They should have never gave me equipment. Okay. Don't give me soundboards and voice changes on the same piece of hardware. Please don't do that.
Bro, unbelievable, man. I think Carlos was doing Batman Robins for his Cox account.
Batman Robins.
Batman
Robbins. Okay.
Yeah, man. I think I may have done some other ones. I don't know. I forget.
El Batman, right? He's El Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, because so like this prepaid situation with Visible, it just doesn't have the gravity that the T-Mobile hack did, because T-Mobile takes a picture of your ID, right, and they put it on file. They take a picture of your card. Like, they get all this information and then they store it. Why are you storing people's information? Like, you check the ID when they come in your store to confirm that they're account holder. The picture should look like the person standing in front of you. They can verify 2 pieces of information.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. And I'm actually really happy to say that, like, I think a lot of people are starting to smarten up. They're starting to ask questions to the companies, like, why do you need my ID? The bill gets paid every month. Why do you need this? Why do I have to have my asset? Like, get away from me asking me these stupid questions. And honestly, like, if I was a company, I think companies start catering to that type of customer who's like, I want a company that doesn't collect anything from me except money. That's literally the company I want to do business with. I will give you every penny that you are asking for the products and services that you promise me. But you don't need my SS, you don't need my personal information, none of that. Don't collect it. You get my money.
Because you know what happens is, right? You do all of that, and then you get all these calls from China talking about car payments and all that stuff and nonsense, right?
Oh my God, bro. They give it up. They give it up smooth, bro. Everything. Your stuff starts going everywhere.
Everywhere.
Bro,
You get
the
all
calls
these
I get is
crazy.
outrageous, bro. Like I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 legitimate calls a week. Like legit, like the actual real calls that I need to answer. Like that's the one thing I'd say about the Google Pixel. That call screening is legit.
Okay.
That is legit. I screen every call and it gives me a transcript of what's on the phone, bro. And
But
then
I get
when
all
it's
kinds of stupid calls. I don't even bother sometimes. Like sometimes I just stop. At this point, it's like I just ignore the calls, man. It's just so bad.
I'm telling you, see, over the Pixel, the transcript feature is nice. Like a Google Assistant answers the phone and it says, the person you are trying to reach has a Google voice service, and then it explains. And they hang up right away. They're like, I'm not talking about Google transcript service. I love it, bro. It is fantastic. That feature is worth it to buy a Pixel by itself.
Man, it's depressing, man. It's depressing over here, man.
Yeah, so the visible thing's bad. The T-Mobile breach was bad too. Apparently, people have speculated that there was an AT&T one, but we haven't gotten confirmation from
People
AT&T,
thought it was going to go down in a line and all the carriers are going to get hit. That hasn't happened.
Nah. I like they say that the carriers weren't necessarily targeted. These hackers get in where they fit in.
Sure.
It's not really about, let's target telco. I mean, everybody pays their bills, damn it. But like, they're not the only companies that have auto pay customers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people auto pay Value City. People auto pay Macy's. People auto pay everything, right? Like you could hack any of that stuff. I don't know, Josh. I'm just saying, like, people get to speculating and saying whatever, saying about AT&T,
Like everyone in the chat room was loving my shades.
I'm telling you, see over the frames, bro. I'm telling you, man. See over what else you want to discuss, man? Is there anything else that you wanted to get to? I mean, I know I'm the host and I'm supposed to ask you questions, but I mean, like I was telling you before the show started, I like to empower my guests too.
Yeah.
So you get some pull too.
I think we covered a lot of stuff, man. Because if you ask me, sometimes I get to going and I gotta be mindful sometimes because I can get to going. But I do want to say something about tech reviewing, right? Because
this is good. Let's do this.
So I notice when it comes to tech reviewing that I've lost faith in people's opinions in reviewing tech products, right? Which is why I don't watch tech reviews anymore unless I know the person. Like if I know the person, talk to the person on Twitter, I'll watch your video because I know you and I like you, not because I want to hear your opinion on the tech product, right? And I've begun, like, I've constantly like lost faith in the uniqueness and the originality of people's opinions when it comes to tech, because at surface level it seems so facetious. Like we have, like, let's talk for a second about the initial leaks about people talking about the bezels on the Pixel phone, right? So we have reviewers who review an iPhone every year that has the same ugly, stupid, big bezels with the same dumb, goofy looking notch on it. And every year it seems to be, it's not that big of an issue. It's like, oh, they got the notch, it's stupid. And then when the Pixel comes out, everyone's trying to roast the Pixel for the bezels, and they don't seem to realize that when you start, nitpicking devices that you want to gain traction with the greater audience in the market, maybe it would behoove you to stop nitpicking the device and focus on a greater picture of the device, lest you want the device and the company's devices to end up like LG, because people nitpick LG into the dirt, into where LG is no longer here. And I'm looking at the Pixel phone and I'm looking at the big bezels and I'm looking at the great cameras and I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking to myself, I don't know, man. I'm just looking at what tech reviewers are putting out about the device, and it kind of makes me lose faith in the whole tech review cycle, because you bang on the device, then you say the device is great, then you bang on the device some more, and then you move on to the next device. And I'm sitting here just looking like, so did you really like the phone, or like, I don't know. What are your thoughts about it, Sneed? What tell me, man?
All right, so I don't watch most or many of the reviews for smartphones. I buy phones for what I think I like. When I learn about certain features that I think I could like take advantage of, or they seem to maybe be good for me and what I'm going to do with the phone. But to address specifically, say like, for example, the iPhone notch, I don't think a lot of people know what the notch is. The notch is lazy engineering.
Now,
and if I could finish this thought, the notch is consistent lazy engineering. The notch existed 3 years ago. It's still here. Bro, do you know what can be done in 3 years?
Listen, we have
think about it. Think about what can be done in 3 years in technology, and Apple told you to go F yourself.
Bro, they perfected this in 2 years. What was it? 1 or 2 years that we got this?
Yeah, it was basically a generation than the next one.
A generational upgrade. Fix this.
Real talk, the notch is lazy engineering, but I'm not surprised. The iPhone 6 is the iPhone 7, is the iPhone 8, right? Then they redesigned, but all those phones were the same. Oh, I forgot the 6S. Can't forget about that, right? It was literally a half a decade.
The 5S2.
No, the 5S. Well, it was the 5, the 5S and the 5C. That was like the same phone, and then the SE and the right. So like, yeah, bro, Apple really does a good job with their services and their apps. The phone is a vessel to deliver those services and those apps. It's not in and of itself. The iPhone is, I mean, take it from a guy who's been fixing them for the last decade. It's the most basic engineering. I mean, they're not doing anything special. The magic of Apple, like I said, is the Apple Store. The support you get, they'll take care of everything. You have to pay, but they will take care of everything for you, right? Because you can't, like Samsung doesn't have a repair system like Apple does. Like you can go anywhere and get your iPhone fixed. Like they have partnerships.
Unless
you have repair centers
near in a city with the Samsung store.
How many are there?
There aren't many.
Right. There's 2 Apple stores in my county. Right. So like that goes to show you like so there's that. The apps, right? The FaceTime, the iMessage, people adore those.
Yes.
The social media apps run better through iOS, right? With cameras and photography and all that. So people prefer that. I don't really like social media. So it doesn't like, it's just different for me. So I fix the iPhones. But when I tell you, when I open the iPhone, it's cringe. It's so lazy. Like they made it so it was designed to break.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like you drop them, they break. And glass, bro, but it's glass sandwiches. Like Galaxy's doing it too. Front and back are glass. Like you have to have a case. Right? You have to protect these things.
It's meant to break.
But literally these, like they tell you, oh, you get 5 years of support, 6 years. Who cares? Bro, you're engineering them to fail. The batteries have been atrocious. Bro, like my 12 Pro is a year old and I have 3 other phones. And my battery percentage health is down to 90%. I have 3 other phones. Why is my battery percentage dropping so fast? Like, why is the battery? It's literally probably by the end of this year, it'll be down to 85% and it'll start shutting down early, right? Like it'll start shutting down at 15-20%. All right. So, but that's the company I know. And I've been fixing the stuff they're unwilling to fix. Like when somebody's IC unit goes bad, Apple doesn't fix that. They tell you buy a new one. You know, when people's charging ports go bad, Sneed fixes that. Apple doesn't.
And that charging port is that's like that's the quickest thing to go.
Yeah. Charging port because the repeated connections all the time with the lightning cable. I remember the headphone jacks used to go bad. With like certain headphones, they'd get eaten up in there.
They used to strip the cameras. Headphones and stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I used to fix and displays. That's it. You drop your iPhone, the display is going to crack.
That's it.
It is happening. And Galaxies are the same thing. I mean, these displays are beautiful. They're big. They're gorgeous.
Galaxies
they're
are
gonna break.
very hard to repair once you crack that back.
They really are. I actually personally won't do them anymore. I don't. These OLEDs are gorgeous. They're great. But, man, they are expensive. See, Ova, you know how much the iPhone 6S display costs right now to replace?
Wasn't it around close to 500 or 350?
When it first came out, it was $299.
Okay.
The 6S. So, like, right when the phone dropped. Every 6 months, it went down like $100.
Okay.
So by the time like the 7 Plus 7 was out and then the 8, you were getting iPhone 6S displays for like $40.
Okay.
Like they're like $20 now
because
they're LCD. But OLEDs, they're like $300, $400. Like I would assume that a Note 20 display or a S21 Plus display, I'd assume they're probably closer to like $400 or $500. Big shout out to Texas Marine. Thanks for the super chat.
Salute.
3 Samsung stores in New York, LA, and Houston. I didn't know that Houston had one. I figured New York and LA did. Thanks, Texas Marine. You check out Windows 11. I got to install Windows 11. See, Ova, you tried it?
Nah.
No, you're not a Windows guy?
When you're a technician, right?
What do you do, Mr. Technician?
You don't install brand new OS updates on your main working machine. You don't do that because you don't know what may happen. Now, I would play with Windows 11 on my second machine, my second streaming editing type machine that I have here. And I will, when I have time, I will try to update on this computer here, right? But on my main computer, that's going to be a huge negative. There's things that Windows 11 brings that I don't like functionality wise, I just simply don't like. And it has to do a lot with gaming too. So there's that.
So when do you think the Windows 11 is ready?
I don't know. I spoke to my mentor, and we both said it's a hard no.
It's a hard no for now, huh?
Yeah, it's a hard no. And there's things that they bring that they brought to Windows 11 that I just don't like. So it's a hard no for me right now. But I would play with it on my I will probably test it out on my editing streaming rig because there's really nothing on that computer that I need. So I would play with it on my main computer. Nah.
So and thank you for that super chat, Chuck. Appreciate you, bro. What's the requirement for installing Windows 11?
It's basic requirements. And they need about 64 gig of space on your computer as well.
64 gig. I got like 2 terabytes.
Let me see what it said.
I'm just trying to figure out what Josh is trying to say about. What do you think? I have a cheap machine?
Oh shit!
Sheesh, man.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Sheesh. Yeah, man.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks for that super chat, man. Where the bass at? Yeah.
John, he comes to whenever John comes to my channel, I play the bass song. So I have a song that I play. Yeah, when Windows, like, I don't like it when they change. Like, there's one thing that I don't like where you can't change your taskbar. Like, the taskbar stays at the bottom. And for me, that's a huge problem, right? Because of my actual setup for streaming, where I have a secondary monitor. I have this monitor right here. This is a 1080p. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, so you know what time it is when you see that logo, right? You know what time it is. So that's a 200. That's a 1080p.
You like that brand? You use a lot of gear from them.
I'm Asus is expensive for no reason at sometimes, but I love my Asus stuff.
I love my Asus router. I think it's fantastic.
I call that the spider joint.
Oh, the spider joint. I have heard you refer to the spider joint.
I got the spider joint router. Yeah, so I love my Asus. That's a 240 hertz, 17-inch 1080p display, HDR. Looks beautiful. I use that for my streaming, and I put it right here on my desk, and it blocks like the bottom half of the ultra wide. My ultra wide is also a Asus 35-inch ultra wide.
Nice.
100 what is this, 100 hertz monitor, right? So if I can't bring my taskbar to the bottom, I'm losing. I can't see my icons. Simple, but here's the thing, right?
I know, I hear you, bro. It's part of the flow. I know.
Updates like that, when they affect the simple things that you do, that makes you not want to do them, right? When it the Windows 11 has a feature. Oh, on the 60 hertz side of the game.
Bro, listen. How many? Hey, look, do you need it to hurts a lot or hurts a little is what you need to know.
Hey. Man, so when you're upgrading and like they have a feature where they're constantly checking and verifying software on your computer, like I don't like stuff like that. Like that's the reason why a lot of people didn't even want to leave Windows 7, because it just did everything they wanted it. It was perfect. It was refined. They didn't want to leave it because it worked for them.
Yeah. And it was good.
It was perfect.
Josh, we're good, bro. I'm playing, man. Come on, Josh. I know you, bro. no need to get sensitive. All right?
Sensitivity.
Yeah, the gaming laptops I hear are good for Asus. They do some good stuff.
Beast mode.
Yeah.
300 hertz on a 300 hertz 4K on a 15 to 17 inch screen on a laptop.
Crazy,
and you still telling me that Apple can't put 120 hertz on the phone and remove the notch at the same time? Come on, son.
I'm telling you, bro, it's lazy engineering. They keep putting out the same thing.
Like I don't get into the conversation,
bro.
Like, listen, the apple juice, man, is an addictive substance. Okay, the people with the apple juice, I can't. Like, people on, like, I'm talking to people.
Carlos literally told me to get iPhones, and I said okay. So I got iPhones, and I still to this day can't figure out the obsession. Like, I trusted his judgment, and they're fine. Believe you me, Silva, it's a fine device. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. But, bruh, I ain't waiting in line to spend a stack.
Bruh.
Straight up.
Texas Marine says he doesn't like it. Look, I know you don't like it.
It's on my i5 toy and not feeling it. Damn, he doesn't like it either.
I've read what it was bringing to the table. I didn't like it. I mean, when it comes to the Apple products, man, it's like it's more about the branding than the actual functionality. Like a lot of the Apple consumers, they'll talk to me and say the best editing experience you can get is on a Mac, and I laugh, right? Because I know when you editing. I mean, we're not. You can't have a conversation with me about Mac and gaming. Like you bugging. No, like no. You're bugging. But when people talk about editing and they say the best experience is on a Mac, right? It's like if you have a properly spec'd out computer.
Josh,
right?
We got MacBooks, we got iPads, we got
we got
iPhones, we got the whole thing. I got the Apple TV, bro. Please. We did it. We got 2 iPads.
See that, but that's the thing.
iPad. She got a regular one, and then my wife's got the iPad Pro, dog. It's cellular and everything. Hey.
Oh no, I'm not an IT guy. Shame. I'm not a Samsung Knight. I know I sound like an IT guy, and I have the name of the technician.
You say I'm Samsung Knight.
Yeah, he said he thinks I'm a Samsung guy. I'm not.
I mean, you like the Note.
I love the Note. The Note is
he loves his fold. He loves his
flip.
My fold. I mean, he likes these phones.
I love my flip, but I'm not a Samsung Knight because I'm not invested too heavily into the. See, for me, the Samsung ecosystem is like the phone and the watch, and like the buds, right? So I got like the old buds, and I got the new phones, and I don't got the watch, and I got the tablet, right? And I use those in conjunction with all the other devices that I have, but I don't feel beholden to Samsung. It just so happens that the only other devices, that Android devices that I would entertain are, gaming phones from Asus, and that's about it. Like I don't really care about what else anyone else is offering.
Right. I miss the Windows Phone. Dang, that's messed up, man. I never liked the Windows phones.
What they did again, like whenever you talk about this, what they did when they messed up with the Windows Phone, right? There was a pivotal moment for HTC, and instead of porting over Windows Phone to the HD2, like everyone wanted them to do, they made another separate Windows Phone, which was the HD8 or something like that, and that phone was absolute hot garbage, right? And then they came out with this little of a purple phone, which some other purple Windows phone they had, and that phone was liquid garbage as well, right? So the phones that they were putting out were trash. The Nokia phone was probably the only good one. You couldn't get that everywhere. And then RIP Windows Phone after that. And the thing with the Windows Phone software was the battery life was phenomenal. The
Just
phone
the optimization was it
like it lasted all day. The battery life lasted all day, but the software support wasn't there,
right?
And then
Developers
they were putting
weren't
on
doing it right.
The developers, it was like it was boo boo developers, and then they were making boo boo phones. But the software itself and the optimization and the battery life was phenomenal. Like that phone lasted all day. Like when I was not at the point now where we're like, you got to monitor the battery. You got to make sure the 5G modem ain't nuking the battery. You got to put it on power saver 30%. Right. You got to turn the screen off. You got to lower the brightness. You got to turn the Wi-Fi off, turn the Bluetooth. Like,
Right. I would rather just charge my phone for an extra 20 minutes a day than to have to keep turning things off and on.
Oh my God. No, battery life is such
I ain't trying
garbage.
To live like that. I ain't
where are the graphene batteries at? We were supposed to have that by now. What's going on?
Right. Well, I would expect Samsung to be the first with it. Like if we're going to be honest about who's going to innovate battery tech,
because it ain't going to be Apple.
No.
People happy now that they're getting 7 hours of screen on time.
Here's Tim Cook. I can imagine him at the table. How much are the lithium-ion batteries? Sir, they're $4.95. How much are the graphene batteries? $4.98. We'll do them next year. Stick with it.
Yeah, that's it.
One more year.
That's it. I mean, like, people are happy that they're getting 6 hours of screen on time and stuff like that. Like, how crazy is that? Right, 7 hours. People 7 hours. People are saying that they can get 13 hours on their iPhone. Right.
That's really good.
That's good.
That is really good.
That's good. Welcome to the party. Glad you can join us.
I want the best phone I ever had when it comes to battery life, I think may have been, it was definitely a Google phone, but I think it was probably the Nexus 6P. I think it was the Nexus 6P. It was a big phone with a big battery, right? So like it wasn't because it was just that well optimized. I think it just had a large battery. So like to get good battery life on most Androids, you have to have big batteries. Like with the iPhone, because they have control of the everything from the OS to the hardware and all of that. They control the entire production of development of the apps and how everything functions. I mean, they get some pretty nice optimization because you know how small the batteries on those older iPhones were. Like it was like 1900 milliamp hours for like a 6S battery.
Now, how much of a joke it was? Every girl you would talk to by the halfway near the end of the night, they needed to charge their phone.
That's facts. My wife was literally attached to the wall half the day.
Bruh. Oh, can I? Oh, babe, I need to charge my phone? Can I charge my phone at the bartender? Oh my God, you need to get an Android phone.
I was rocking like, I think when me and my wife first got married, I was rocking the Moto X Pure Edition. It was a beautiful phone, and that thing took me all day.
I think I seen a Flossy review about that
back in the day, man, and it was a really nice phone, and it had a bunch of cool features, and it lasted all day. And my wife, I think at the time, had a 6S, and that thing was on the charger 2-3 times a day,
every day, bro.
I finally got her to upgrade her phone to what did I get her? I think I got her the 10s Max, or it was the 11, maybe 11 Pro Max. And she's like, "Oh, I'll never go to the smaller phone now because like the phone will last her a full day, bro. Because they're on social media all day, right? Like it literally, they're just consuming Instagram.
You know what kills me with women when they're scrolling on iPhones? Like they literally hit the screen every time they're scrolling up, and you keep hearing this. And that's all. That's all, like Ruben acts
it so hard.
Yeah, it's like you just sit there and it's like why are you like? Yeah, oh my God,
you must be messing with the femmes that got the fancy nails, brother.
Oh my God, all day, bro. Like, oh my God, bro. And Ruben asked me, great content. What point were you making about editing on Apple? The point I was making is that a lot of people who edit on Apple say like the editing is the best experience until you start really working with a heavy workload and then you realize how efficient a properly now you have to build a proper editing machine, right? You can't just get 32 gigs, big graphic card, toss a processor on there, and then things start working well. That's where people get the hiccup, and they have to spend 8 to 12 hours rendering a 4K project, right? You have to properly build your editing machine to get the most optimal efficiency out of it, right? And once you do that, right, people, because I had people telling me that they built Threadripper machines and the Mac editing was better. I'm like, what? What? Nothing beats Threadripper. Nothing. That's it. There's no conversation. Nothing beats Threadripper.
This is a throwback. I think Kalani must have caught this earlier.
Souffle.
The souffle.
He caught the souffle comment. He caught the souffle comment. Yeah. Like, so like when you're building where can you find your content? I think the mods have my link in the chat room, right? Or
mods, if we could repost that link for Mr. Ova, please.
Yeah. Like nothing.
Thank you, man.
Shout out. Like nothing beats building a Threadripper computer for editing content. That's it. Like Mac can't compete with that. No Mac can compete with that. That's not a conversation, right? Yeah, so when you build properly to maximize, the editing for the render times, you'll see that on average, the PC is going to outpace the Mac computer. It just is. It will, right? But you have to build your PC properly. If you don't build your PC properly, the iMac, the Mac Mini,
which machines are not good, Ova, that Apple makes are the MacBook Airs. That is a bad
when they first came out
engineered machine.
When they first came out, they were really good. I remember when they first came out. The MacBook Air.
The MacBook Air was good?
When it first came out because it was so small.
Okay.
Because it was so small when it first came out, because there weren't any. I mean, when the MacBook Air came out, most of the laptops would still look like TVs. You know what I'm saying? So, there were no computers that could fit in a manila envelope at that time.
Okay.
So it was a good computer because it was small. Now with the advancements we've made in technology, you can't just be a small computer and give me no ports anymore.
Yeah.
Like you have to give me something.
Well, I could tell you, I fixed my wife's MacBook Air so many times. Like the batteries get hot; they got to get replaced basically every year or every other year. The ventilation, there is none; it just gets hot. So like, there's no active cooling. There's no,
and they never fixed the ventilation.
Nothing. Like I was contemplating rigging parts of the chassis to dissipate heat. I'm like, I keep replacing these freaking batteries. This thing keeps shutting down. The connectors, for the battery, for the recharge. Bro, those things they smoke. They start smoking and they burn.
They still do that?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yep. And it's because they wanted to get to that form factor, like you said, and they just didn't properly engineer it.
But that was an issue for like years with the overheating.
I don't know how it is now, but I literally watched many generations of this, right?
That's an old issue with the overheating, though. Like I remember when it was saying that the MacBook Airs just overheat all the time because of no ventilation. They never fixed that. That is crazy.
I also put some of the onus on the users. I have to. I think that's fair. Like, okay, if you literally set it on your laptop and you're wearing sweatpants or jeans, how is it breathing?
Come on, son.
Like we're just talking like just regular good old physics here. Can we get some airflow?
They're probably looking for a
who's using it under the blanket. They're like,
people use. People. Let me tell you something, man. Apple users are the most careless people I've ever seen with their products, man. I didn't see so many MacBooks be tossed under the pillows and under covers and stuff like that, just getting all kinds of toasty. Yeah. Just being tossed around. Like they're probably waiting for an Apple laptop.
I will tell you, Ova, the only phone I ever actually had to use an ice pack, the iPhone 12 Pro.
Get the hell out of here.
I swear to God, I used to run Twitter Spaces with that phone. I swear to you, I used to go and grab an ice pack out of my freezer.
Listen, where am I joining at? Hold on. I can't. I know I have it around here. So see, and people see, and this was so funny, right? When you have a phone that has a fan on it, people think you're crazy until you can use your fan.
I think any flagship phone with these new high-end processors need to dissipate heat. You can't just let it passively just diffuse out of the phone.
You can't just have like the vapor chamber, the copper vapor chamber. You need something to move the heat out of the phone, right? That's kind of where like where people look kind of try to criticize the gaming phones. Oh, it's just a hole. It doesn't work. Well, here's the thing. The hole allows heat to go somewhere outside of just staying in the phone. Right. So
we're cool
whole
with mufflers on cars, right?
Yeah, right. So I'm not saying that flagship phones should have holes on the back of them, but flagship phones need to innovate some way to dissipate heat out of the device. So people like with the Pixel 5a and probably with the Pixel 6 aren't talking about. I don't think the Pixel 6 would overheat, right? I think the
think it
Pixel
will. I don't think it will.
Fine. But with the issue with the overheating issue with the Pixel 5a, you have some kind of mechanism, some form, something in the phone that allows heat to leave the phone instead of staying stagnant and causing the device to shut off.
So, but what do you think about Josh's comment here? He's
Sneed,
telling me. Go ahead.
You will love the 13 Pro Max. Almost all your critiques of phones are going to be removed. I'm confused because we just critiqued the 13 Pro Max today. I don't understand.
Well, okay. So he's basically saying the things that troubled me with the 12 or the 12 Pro have been taken care of with the Pro Max 13.
Probably, maybe. I mean,
I do like the concept of better battery life. I do.
I mean, isn't it like that every year? Is that the 12 will
have more
remove
juice.
all your critiques. The 11 will remove all your critiques. The 10 will remove all your. I mean, come on, like
The only reason I actually got an iPhone with the 12 generation is they finally went to a Qualcomm modem. You know, they got rid of Intel, bro. Intel is not the move for mobile chips. Like and modems. So I
wish
like,
Intel the best in the next. I wish Intel the best in the next 5 years.
I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be fine. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to be better than AMD, but like they're right there. I don't see what the big difference is between AMD and Intel. I don't. I mean, I think they both have to make a lot of chips, don't they?
I believe Intel is behind.
How much?
I have to make sure.
How much?
AMD
you have to put a number on it, like a percentage. How further ahead is AMD?
Maybe 30%.
Damn, that much?
They lapped them.
What?
AMD lapped them.
Okay.
And with Ryzen, between Ryzen the 3 series, Ryzen 3 series and Ryzen 5 series, AMD lapped Intel quite a bit. They overtook them in market share too for the first time in decades. So so they lapped Intel pretty good. So now Intel is trying to gain market share back, and they're still behind, I believe, on the 7nm chips. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken. So Intel is behind AMD right now. Intel's working on their own GPU that could help them pick up the pace. But yeah, Intel is a little bit behind right now.
Kazi, appreciate the super chat. Intel is behind 3 to 4 generations. Dang.
Yeah. Intel got lapped pretty bad in 2019. They got lapped pretty bad. They didn't see it coming.
So nothing has changed in the last 2 years?
No. Nope. AMD is still pretty much. I mean, so I like if you're like when I'm talking about building, when I tell people
I'm investing in a company, like if I'm looking at stocks and shares, I'll invest in Intel before I invest in AMD.
I mean, AMD stock jumped significantly because of the progress they made over at Intel.
But they're at they're over $100. Intel's probably like 50 or something. So where are investors putting their money? Because isn't that where the faith is in the production?
The production. So the production. So the problem with the production is that Intel is behind on the 7nm chip, right? So
wait, aren't we in like 5nm now?
I have to check. Don't quote me directly on that because I know Intel's
like it's just
behind
getting
on the chip.
smaller and smaller, bro.
It is, but you know what it is? It's getting smaller and smaller, and Intel is still behind. And it's
so that nothing's changing.
nothing's changing. That's and it's getting smaller and smaller. Don't quote me directly on that, because I do know that Intel was behind the last time I did check. That's why they had to scale back. Yeah, because that's why they had to scale back the release of one of the chips, because they were behind on production. There we go.
They're stuck on 12 now.
There we go. I know. Whoa. There we go. I knew it. They're stuck on 12 and 10, and AMD is working on 5. So that's why he said that they're behind 3 and 4 generations.
Dang.
So when you're looking at I'm telling people to build computers, I'm telling them just build AMD. Don't even bother with Intel. I went with AMD. I didn't even bother with Intel. I didn't even bother looking at Intel, because not only do you get more cores for functionality and longevity, right? Mm-hmm. You get better price, right? You can get 8 cores for the price of you can get 10 cores for the price of 12 with Intel, right? And again, cores don't matter, but cores matter for longevity and upgradability. Like if you want to upgrade and do more things with your computer, you can do that with AMD. Then you can do that with Intel. That's when you're thinking. That's when you're building computers for longevity, right? Sure. You think, okay, I want to use these applications in the future. I'll have the room and the space to do it, and I can upgrade. And the best part about it is that AMD was ahead of Intel with the upgradability, right? So you can go to so you can get the 4 series motherboards and the 5 series motherboards, and those are backwards compatible with the processor. So you can. So my motherboard is a 5 series, has a 3 series chip in it. I can automatically upgrade to a 5 series chip, no problem, right? And Intel was still making people buy entire new motherboards just to upgrade the processors, right? So when you say you can get this motherboard and then upgrade the processor later, or you can buy this motherboard and have to upgrade the motherboard and the processor later, which
no.
Which are you going to tell the people? Just, not even trying to be too technical. Like, you get this, you can upgrade just one part, or you have to get this, you got to upgrade the 2 parts.
That's going to be an expensive upgrade.
It's always an expensive upgrade.
Marine. Thank you for that $2 super chat. He's dumping the 12 Pro Max, keeping the Mini and the S20 Ultra. All right, brave soul. He's going to drink the baby apple juice. The
baby apple juice? That's good for you, good for your cataracts.
The 12 Mini, bro. That thing is tiny. That's
a small ass phone.
Yeah, the battery life on that must be atrocious. I could see why you're keeping the S20 Ultra around to do the heavy lifting. But people literally will keep the iPhone Ova for the iMessage, the FaceTime, the social media apps and stuff. They'll do that.
Yeah.
Some software doesn't work on AMD. Well, if you're doing a gaming computer, I think AMD is the way to go, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's certain games that run better with Intel and NVIDIA combined. That's just because of how NVIDIA has a chokehold on the market when you doing benchmarks and stuff like that. But overall, it's negligent once you really look down the middle. When you're looking at benchmarks and you're really comparing things, I do believe that Adobe still probably runs the Adobe suite runs a little bit better on Intel. Probably a little bit better, but a little bit is like what, a couple of seconds or a minute or two when you're really looking at it.
We got a bold statement here for you, Ova. The S20 Ultra, best phone ever, period.
Probably.
Would each year's Ultra be the best phone ever?
No, because the Ultra that had the camera that still cannot autofocus to this day.
The S20 Ultra.
Yeah, that can't autofocus to this day. I know people that still say the phone can't laser for autofocus. So definitely it wasn't the S20 Ultra.
Yeah. Not happening.
I would say this would sound crazy. I would say one of the best phones in the last 2 years is probably the Note 20 Ultra 5G.
I loved my Note 10 Plus.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great phone. I loved my S20 Plus. I thought that was a great phone too.
Yeah.
S10 Plus is arguably the best Galaxy I've owned ever.
Mm.
S10 Plus.
Mm.
Headphone jack, teardrop camera cutout.
Mm.
No, I had the Plus, so it had the bigger one because it had the 2 cameras in
Yeah.
the display. It had the headphone jack, good battery life. The display was gorgeous. At the time, I thought that was the pinnacle of smartphone hardware. And then the Note came out, and it was really, really,
That
really
Note
good too.
20, what has been with the Note 20 5G is that it's so light, and that camera is amazing, right? I wish I got the Note 21 series this year. Note 21 hasn't. What are you talking about? Note 21, it hasn't come out yet.
He said, "I wish we got a Note."
Oh yeah, definitely. Ashay admin said the Fold 3 is the best phone ever. No, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I did own. I owned the S10 Plus 5G. I did. I had which model was it? Remember, they had a unique one for each carrier.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had the Verizon one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had the Verizon one because I wanted millimeter wave.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was right when millimeter wave went live in the CLE. And it sucked. And then it just got better and better all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd say also some of the best phones ever, the HTC One M7. I loved that phone.
Oh man,
I really loved that one.
my goat phone ever is the HTC HD2.
Well, you're going way back.
I mean, all time. My all-time
Okay.
phone. When I'm talking about my all-time phone, my all-time.
I like my Blackberries. Like I loved my Blackberry Bold. You know, stuff like that.
The reason why I say the HD2 was because that phone was like a modern marvel, because you can install not only Android, not only Windows Phone OS, but you can install Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat. Like, the shit that you can install on the HD2 is what's crazy. Like, it was absurd that you can install so many variations of Linux on that phone, and the phone could run it properly. That's what made that phone a go. Like, you would just sit down, I want to get rid of my Windows OS. Let me just go ahead and put this Ubuntu on here real quick and use Ubuntu on the phone.
I really liked my Droid Turbo. I don't know if you remember that phone.
God, that phone was huge for this day. I remember that.
I love the Droid Turbo. It had a ballistic nylon back. It was a cool phone. I took that phone with me on my honeymoon. Maybe that has some sentimental value or something. I have no idea.
I love the Droid with the eye thing that when the thing I think
when it starts up, right?
Yeah, with the eye, that was so cool. But that phone had the top heavy back.
It did. It was a Droid X.
Yeah, the Droid X. Oh my god.
It was the camera bump and
that shit was
the
huge,
battery.
Man.
Yeah, it had a sliding metal door for a battery door.
It's so crazy.
I used to carry those batteries, Ova. I used to carry an extra battery, dog.
It's so crazy. We back to making phones with these big ass backs now, right?
Yeah, but the sensors are large.
Yeah.
You know, like back then it was literally just components were big. Now it's just the sensors.
Mm-hmm.
All the other stuff gets smaller all the time. We got RFK Tech USA.
Is that Ricky?
Pretty Ricky doing pretty big things in a pretty big range, bro.
Oh, I haven't seen Ricky.
Why don't you play that shit, bro? Go ahead.
I don't have that, man. I got to load. All I got, let me say, all I can do is
Ricky.
That's all I can do for you.
I need you to auto tune it for me one time. See.
Okay, hold on. We got the auto tune.
Yeah.
Ricky.
You know, woke up, everybody's home, bro. Everybody's sleeping. You know, there's some dude who's got you on a Sonos right now. Like, what just happened?
Oh my god, man. Oh my god, man.
Yeah, Ricky's back, bro. T-Mobile sucks.
Oh my god, Skunk Mobile.
Dude, I remember Ricky was going in on them for a while. I don't know.
Oh my god, Ricky used to go so hard.
Bro, you remember the skunk apes and all?
Oh, skunk apes eating the towers and shit. Yeah, I was like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what's the problem with T-Mobile?
Going in on him, man.
Just going in so bad, like Skunk Mobile. Oh my god, man.
Dude, I remember he had like a picture. So apparently, like, there is a thing called a skunk ape. It's like a fictional, like, it's like a Yeti.
Yeah.
Like a Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's like native to Florida or something. Like it's a regional thing. I when he was using that, I'm like, what is? I had to
The
Google
hell
it.
is
It was
a
like a real
skunk
thing,
ape,
bro.
man? What are we talking about?
It was like a version of King Kong on like a diet, like a tall, lean King Kong, basically.
Bro, my man, I can't believe it, man. And you guys would just go so hard on T-Mobile, man.
Well, I'll be honest with you. When Tyrone used to make fun of the thong Thursdays and all that, that was like, remember the giveaways they were doing?
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah. So
god.
blankets and
I
beach
threw all that
towels.
shit away. I eventually end up throwing all that stuff away too.
Well, you were okay. So you were getting them for free on what? Every Tuesday you'd get something new, right?
Yeah.
So you'd have to go over to the store,
Mm-hmm.
right? You'd have to take the time. They weren't shipping it to you, right? They wanted to get you in the store.
Have to go.
Right?
Yep.
And what they give chicken sandwich once in a while from Popeyes.
I don't know nothing about. Oh yeah, the deal meal. Okay, so we're near the end of the stream, so I went ahead and did a speed test because I don't know why it was cutting us off when we was talking about them. I don't know what the issue was. So she was weird. So very weird, but
Yeah.
I don't know why. So I did a speed test. My max is supposed to be 400, but I got 317.39 download. My ping is 8 milliseconds, and my upload is 38.65. And that's pretty much what I should be getting.
Plenty good.
Yeah.
Oh, here's what he's saying right here. Trash Mobile earned the title with their fake 5G fake maps.
Yo, when y'all were talking about the fake 5G, man, oh my god, I was like, yo, y'all got problems.
Well, you know, they exaggerate the maps. Like you look for coverage, they're gonna want to make their network look bigger.
You
know,
and you start messing with the executives on Twitter.
Bro, I think I'm pretty sure most of them probably blocked Ricky.
Yeah, they blocked Ricky. Oh my god.
I mean, probably, right?
Yeah.
And Carlos here at Skunk Apes coming.
Yo, Ricky. Yeah, they were handing out blankets. Yeah, what's his name? Oh man, I don't forgot the dude name now, man.
Lawrence.
No, Eshin Tech out there in Wisconsin, Kenosha, Wisconsin. He posted that he got the blanket from them. Like they were handing out blankets. They better be careful that they may be COVID blankets or something. You don't know.
Measles and
measles blankets, smallpox blankets. They may be giving out smallpox blankets for Throwback Thursday. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, they've done what? Popeye's chicken sandwich. I think there was a pizza. I don't know which company it was. They had Shell gas. It was like 10 cents off a gallon
all the time.
Yeah, like they have all these different things. I think there was ice cream for a while, Baskin Robbins.
The hotel, then you got the hotel. You got the hotel.
Oh, they do hotel discounts?
Yeah, they had the hotel discounts. Yeah, remember they had hotel discounts for a couple of weeks, couple of months.
Dang, that's actually legit.
Like, yeah,
a hotel discount's gonna be probably something good, like 40, 50, 60, 80 bucks.
Yeah,
you know, that basically could save you a night.
Yeah, it got a little. It was always a revolving hotel discount. And then you got the Auntie Anne pretzels and stuff like that. But now with T-Mobile, now with her,
chime in, Ricky,
KY jelly on tooth. I'm done. I'm done.
See, bro, this is why you got to warn me when Ricky shows up, so I can change the ratings on the live stream, bro.
Ricky over here is taking shots of like Detroit Flint's water now and shit, man. I don't know what's going on with Ricky.
Oh man. All right, Ova, let's wrap this up, man. I want to thank you for coming on, bro. Thank you for, just on a whim, just coming on and hanging out.
Absolutely, man. Anytime.
We talked tech, we talked smartphones, mobility, we talked about Optimum, and then Optimum got pissed.
Yo, I'm gonna watch my mouth about Optimum in the beginning of a stream, yo. That's big facts. Optimum was like, if you want to talk, we gonna give you something to talk about. I never had on StreamYard. I never had that happen on StreamYard.
Bro,
back to back like that.
I'm not a big fan of StreamYard, honestly, man.
Listen, again, I'm not sponsored by StreamYard, so I don't have no financial responsibilities to talk about them like it's a service that everyone should use and stick by 100%. I don't have that. I don't have that need. I'm not sponsored by these things, so I don't have to sit here and lie to you about the service. Like, it's a great service if you want to do streaming and you don't want to get that into it. However, the Melon is probably better, and you gain more by probably using Zoom or OBS. And if you got a Mac, you use Ecamm. But we're not going. That's a different conversation for another day.
Well, hey, man, you're always welcome to come back on the show.
Absolutely.
I'll definitely continue to extend the invite out to you, and I thank you for coming on. Real quick, Green, thank you for the super chat. T-Mobile is great. The engineers are doing the network right in my area. Hope you get better engineers soon, Sneed. We may disagree on 3G shutdown and Dish, but I love your content. Appreciate you, Green. Thank you for all that you do, man. And I'm not the type of guy that just because somebody disagrees with me that I devalue what they say. I'm just not built like that. I respect everybody's opinion, and I appreciate people's perspectives, and I'm good with that. We're not everybody's always going to agree with everything. That's just life.
Shout out to the telecom GOAT.
And now we're going to start experimenting with every little doohickey you got on that board, bro.
The telecom GOAT in the building. Respect his opinion.
Appreciate it, Silva. Thank you, man.
Sneed, man, I'm out, man. Catch you guys on the next one. Shout out to Skunk Nation, everyone in the chat room. I appreciate
Skunk
you guys.
Nation, #Skunk Nation.
Definitely, you want to know me? Check me out on my channel, Ova the Technician. I catch you guys on the next one. Sneed, peace.
Take it easy, Silva. Thank you. And we're gonna wrap up the show. #Ravioli Gang, #2Live Crew, #Replay Gang. And what am I forgetting? #Mod Squad. You guys are amazing. Thank you to everybody that offered super chats. Thank you to everybody who gave this video a like, shared it. Follow me on Twitter in the description box, the Patreon page. I think we're up over 111 Patreon supporters now, so a growing community. Thank you guys for all your support. My Twitter handle is down there as well. Thank you guys, for all my followers and people that tweet at me and share stuff. Thank you. And I think that's pretty much it. Big shout out to Ova and everybody in the live chat and everybody who offered super chat donations. You guys are the best. I'm going to sleep. I got work in the morning. Peace.